something my boss makes me do. Describe in one sentence your band for people that don't know you.
Heavy, energetic, fun, impulsive, creative, dangerous,
genuine, like lots of genuine emotion.
Yeah, just great. It's good fun.
How did Feed the Rhino come about?
Me and James, good friends before the band, and he was in a band before that, and I had a few ideas, and I kept bugging him, and I was like, "Look, I've got an idea for this type of music that I want to do. You interested?" And he was like, "No, not interested at all." And I kept bugging him, and he always kept turning me down, and was like, "No." Anyway, his band broke up, and he rang me, and he was like, "Oh, I've jammed some ideas," and I was like, "Well, I thought you weren't interested." He was like, "Yeah, I kind of am now." I spoke to Chris as well, and he's interested in doing it, and I was like, "Oh, right." Anyway, so he went to come over Friday, and I was like, "Yeah, we've heard that, the riff for the Butchers," and I was like, "Yeah, that sounds alright," like pretty much what I was kind of thinking. And he's like, "Cool, do you want to do a jam? Like, well, let's have a jam next week." And then he was like, "My brother's interested in doing it as well." I had to speak to him in a week, and we got in the room, and literally a week after we decided to do that, we wrote the Butchers on our first sort of jam together, the Butchers and Mr. Red Eye. Oh no, it wasn't. No, I'm talking rubbish. It was Butchers and Diarrhea Cards.
Love Diarrhea Cards.
And and then we didn't stop.
So
we're here now.
Why Feed the Rhino? Why that name?
Because it's not important. It's not. Not it's not important. I'm not saying that Rhino's not important or anything like that. So don't get out of this. But what I'm saying is, it was like we're never really a bunch of people that take ourselves that seriously, and Feed the Rhino is a name that doesn't really come across with any sort of serious conviction. And I think like a name like Feed the Rhino is just a little bit easy, isn't it? It's just like, you know. And to be fair, it was something that we didn't even think about. James just said, you know, I keep throwing back to James, but he was come up with a lot of stuff. And James was just like, the ultimate thing is we just called ourselves Feed the Rhino. And I was just like, yeah, Feed the fucking Rhino. He went, Feed the fucking Rhino. And that was it. And we've Feed the Rhino since then, really.
What's different from Mr. Red Eye to Sorrow and the Sound?
I think it shouldn't be anything different. There shouldn't be anything where it sounds like a different band. It's just progressive. Across the three albums, I think, you know, there should be clear lines so you can go, okay, this was. But there was a proper mellow song, other than the Tides. Wasn't Tides, but that kind of style. What was that on that first album?
Oh mate, I really can't.
There's certain things where you can draw lines. So you go, okay, that was Mr. Red Eye, and then we stepped up to Tides on the second one, and then we stepped up to Black Horse or Sorrow and the Sound on the third one. I think you can draw these lines through all the songs. So I think we've never lost anything or really taken it away. I just think we've got better at doing it. Yeah. And I think I've got more involved as the albums have gone on as well with what I bring to the table. Because I wasn't, as Lee was saying about when the band formed, I wasn't one of the original kind of when the half of Mr. Red Eye was written before I was even jamming with them. So I think like over the albums I've been kind of incorporating more into like my background of like maybe kind of different types of music and stuff into the band.
I think the thing is what we've learned as sort of the five people that we are is from Mr. Red Eye to the Sorrow and the Sound. We've all learned how to sneak our influences into the writing process, and we all we have got a little bit of a varied, you know, music. But like, I don't know, like for me, I just think it's all about progressing, and I think you need to progress. You can't have albums sounding the same one after the other. You just can't, because it will just not. It won't move you forward as a band. And you know, it's like you hear the time. Oh yeah, but the second album was better, or it was different, or it was this, or the first album was this and that. And it's like, yeah, but you're not writing the first album again. Yeah. You're writing the third album. Yeah. So it has to progress. It has to sound different. Yeah. And you know, for me, a physical difference in the albums is, I believe, that the songs are better. I think they're constructed better. I think they're more catchy, and I think they still capture everything that we put into the band on Mr. Red Eye.
Favourite band you've toured with, or your ideal band to type?
Okay, favourite. I couldn't say who my favourite band to tour with was, because there's so many bands we've toured with who have been amazing. You know, back from early on in the days where it was Devil Solid Soul who took us under their wing. Gallows.
Yeah,
have been
I mean
great
we've
for
toured
us.
with both Gallows, toured with Frank, and we've toured with Wade in the band. And both bands are equally the same band, but both singers are equally
different
good at what they
dynamic
do.
and a different thing, and both great. Yeah. So we've
you
done
know-
loads, but I think the band I would like to tour with the most would be Dillinger Escape Plan. I think that would keep us on our toes and be quite inspirational for us. Or
Yeah.
that or Deftones. I think they're the ones like they're the bands I think would be really great for us. I think it would work. That's the thing. It's
I
like,
think at the same time as well, I think I'd like to see us touring with bands, you know, like Phil Ansamo and like bands like Down, and I would love to see this band sort of like step over into, you know, the heavier metal side of things, and you know, maybe bands like you know, like Testament or something like that, you know, something like brutal slab heavy bands, and you know, I think with this band, I think, you know, it's just an open book. I think you can put us with a lot of bands.
We can work with a lot. We went toured with Bring Me the Horizon when they did a release tour for Sempiternal, and that was really great for us as well. I think it worked. They liked it and we liked it.
What was your favourite festival ever to play, ever? Not just for, you know, oh, this is...
I know Aussies. I think, I don't know, for different reasons really. I mean, Download's always incredible. Like, to be honest, like, every single festival he plays got such a different feel to it. But playing, when you, and now known as it, when you play a major festival, when you play the Sonisphere, when you play the Reading and Leeds, when you play the Downloads and you're associated to them festivals, that's just that's a massive deal. For me, it's definitely Download. Download this year was just really good. That was mostly my favourite.
Nice one.
2012?
2012 was mental. Didn't you break your arm?
No, I didn't. No, I've never broken my arm. But,
What did you break? You broke
I've
something?
broken all sorts of
No, I mean
ribs and
I've fingers and stuff like that. But I've never broken my arm, but I can't really recall, to be honest.
We haven't had people breaking their arms and legs during our set, maybe.
Because I was in that pit and that was brutal.
Yeah, it was pretty big. It was big. Good fun.
I was in the pit this year as well, and you gave me a very nice shine. It was spectacular.
I apologise.
Oh, don't worry. It was
It's
just
usually
to
me that
get up, and the guy had grabbed hold of you, pulled you back, and your arm slung back and just clocked me right in the face. It was
Sorry
like
about that, man.
just grabbed it. It was like yes.
Yeah, George throws me around like a rag doll. That's it.
It was great. So why do you have that guy?
He's one of the most handiest guys for me to have around, to be honest. I mean, it's nice having someone pulling you back in when you're diving into the crowds. I mean, I love getting involved, man. I mean, I've always loved getting involved since I was younger. That's why I was always in, like, I was in mosh pits and stuff like that, and I still love doing it. And like, this band gives me a great opportunity to jump in and do it as well. So, but to obviously get back to the stage is usually a little bit difficult. But no, George is brilliant. George is great. I love having George around. I don't ever not want him around. And
the thing is, he's the first. Like, obviously, people see George and everyone knows him now because of how great he is with us on stage. He throws us back on stage and he puts the stage back together when
we were a mess. We used to be a mess without George, and he kind of like puts everything back into place. Because if we're pulling stuff around, he's the guy that pushes it all back.
But then what people don't see is that he's the first one that gets to the band. He's there now, like taking our equipment out, putting it on stage. He'll be the first one to pack down the drums. Like he gets stuck in a lot. He's strong as as well, so that helps.
Crazy George.
He is Crazy George. Everyone should know the name.
Okay,